Let's talk searching for a good CDL school. Most students, it's like buying a car. You want to go out and the recruiter is going to talk to you, or the director of the CDL school is going to talk you into our school's the best school. Come to our school. We are the best in the States. We are the best in the United States. Might be true, probably not. His job is to sell you into coming to the particular school. But there's a lot of students out there who want to take the time to really research, do their homework, and find a good school. So if you are a student looking at this video or a former student, please make sure you add your comments and views to the comments to this video. Help the students who are looking. In the future, not too long from now, I'll put a video out. If you are already in a bad CDL school, what you can do. That'd probably be more important maybe than this. But this is still important. Most students are going online or texting me or doing on the YouTube channel, ask me the question, what is a good CDL school? I don't represent any CDL school. All these are my own views. Some of the things I'll be telling you today will be information from other CDL schools and what they wrote. So if you keep on looking online on the internet, you're going to see the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm just kind of rehashing, maybe put some of my own views in it. So if you search in the internet, there are a number of helpful internet and YouTube sites out there. On my YouTube channel, I have a playlist. If you look up top, you see channels, videos, and playlists. If you click on the playlist, you'll see about a couple good videos out there. Some other YouTubers are talking about, what to look for, their tips on CDL schools. So check it out. And also don't forget to subscribe if you will. So check my playlist out. Most CDL schools are in the business to make money. A state-run college, such as community colleges, things like that, they basically have to make a profit to cover their expenses. Class size in most cases are smaller than the privately run schools. They get government grants, probably get a grant to get tractors and all that stuff, so your taxpayer money's paying for this. If you qualify at a community college or state-run school, you can get a government grant and you might get free tuition. So if you don't have the money, it might be worth your while to look into the community colleges. And I have seen most of them I really like. I have worked at a community college. In fact, I worked at a couple community colleges. And I like what I see. The class size is smaller. They get more road time. So there's a lot of benefits in there. If you work for a company, go to a company CDL schools, you might be required to work there 1 or 2 years, and also if you leave early, you're going to pay it back. So it might not be a good idea. And also most companies, when they hire you, give you tuition reimbursement. So basically, they'll give you money back anyway. So you can still go to CDL school, pay the $4,000 or $5,000, go to a nice company like Schneider or U.S. Express, and they're going to pay you. They're going to reimburse you back for whatever it costs for that to go to that school. So it's not a bad idea. So let's go and hit some tips down here. 1, check the reviews. Every review should have no more nor no less than 4 stars. A CDL school, also we got to make clear, a bad CDL school in 2022 or 2021 may be a great school in 2023, 2024, coming. So the next step is really you need to go and visit that school, see what they are now. The best reviews are going to come from students at that school. So if you know the school starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, show up early, and your students can be walking into the range. You already know, if you look online, what time the school starts, or that CDL range starts, or if you made a phone call, and talk to a couple of them. Try to get a few of them together. So if you have 6 students, you have 6 bad reviews coming from those students, this might not be the best school in the world. So you want to get the pros and the cons. Why is it good and why is it poor? Hey, are you getting quality training time or are you training yourself? Are you getting enough road time? Or you get one time a week you get on the road. In 6 weeks you go on the road, take your test, and you don't know how to shift. You don't know how to do nothing. So you want to get that information. Good schools advertise, we give quality road time. That's the good schools. You see that advertised. So if the range starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, did the class start on time? Now, they might be doing pre-trip study from 8 to 9. Usually should be no more than an hour. Was instructors there on time? Do you see about 20, 30 students down there and then only one instructors or no instructors down there? Or were they just sitting down inside and nowhere to be seen? So if they did the pre-trip, an hour went by or 45 minutes went by, did they start practicing on the range? Did they start on time? Or let's say if it's a lunch break. If the lunch break is at 12 o'clock, did they all leave the range at 11:30? That's a half an hour that most students lost on their training time. It's a half an hour. Add that stuff up. It doesn't work. Okay? So you want to see if it's well organized. Also, when you go down there, look at the school. Is it a dirt lot? The size of the training range and the condition of the range. The range should be well painted. Every line should be in the correct dimensions, as if you had to go to the DMV and take a test, that you don't get, oh my God, I'm at a DMV and this is so strange to me. And I see students I worked at a school that had a dirt lot. And when they went to DMV, they had all kinds of issues because it wasn't laid out as their range on where there's practicing wasn't laid out the same way as the range on DMV. So that didn't help. Plus it was nervous, and those things work against you. This is 2022. Nowadays, most good schools will have an asphalt lot. They'll spend the money and they'll put a quality range up. They should have at least 2 or 3 lanes, not 1 or 2, 2 or 3. And it should be well marked, and it should match the same dimensions at the DMV or MVA. The size of the class is probably the most important thing that you can see on all these website, YouTube channels talking about schools. The size of the class, the ratio between students and instructors. So if you have, let's say, 2 skill lanes, it should be no more than 4 to a training lane. No 5 max, but 4 on each lane. Okay, so if you have 2, you should come at maybe no more than 15 students, 18, whatever. So if there's 30 students, let's say there's 3 lanes, maybe have a little bit more, but let's say there's 3 lanes or 2 lanes, and you see about 30 students sitting out there on that range. Do the math. It doesn't work. Now, there's 2 types of students. One student came in already. He knows how to back up. We'll call him the A class. They backed up RVs, they backed up trailers, they backed up trucks with trailers on it. So they're going to do pretty well at the school, and most likely they're going to pass. If it's a good school or bad school, they would do well. That's why they say, well, the pass ratio is just good. This school test or DMV test is not that hard, but you're paying $5,000. You want to get your money's worth. And we'll go in that later on. You want to get your money's worth. But if there's a ton of students, it's not going to work. If you were a B student, never driven, never backed up anything, never shifted a manual, didn't have such as a car that had a manual shift, or a pickup truck that had a manual, or a box truck. If you've never done that, you need to go to the proper school. You make it up. If you go to a poor school that maybe is cheap, you're only going to get what you pay for. It's not going to work that well for you. You want quality CDL training. And you don't want to go to a range that's overloaded with students. You want to know what the ratio between student and instructors are on that range. You are paying to learn how to drive a tractor trailer. If the class size is too large, you will not get what you are paying for once again. You will be self-taught, or if you look out on the range, you'll see students teaching students. Sometimes it's great to have your best students or your best friends at the class helping you. That sometimes works okay at times, but you paid money to have a professional tractor trailer driver out there teaching you or giving you tips. If the class is too large, the students, you look out there and you see students making the same mistake over and over again, and it's going to stick with them. So when they go and take their test, is in their head about doing everything improperly, not the proper way. I always like students to go and, I train them. I say, go on your own little bit, practice for yourself. But if they're making the same mistakes, I need to be out there and say, stop, let me retrain you and show you the mistakes that you're making, get you on the right track. So there's a good point about trying on your own for a little bit. Having an instructor or student out there trying to point to you every little turn to make is not good, because you're not backing it up. The instructor or the student's doing it. At the very beginning, yes, he might yell out, turn the wheel right, turn the wheel left, and hopefully you look in the mirror and see what's going on and then try it on your own. But a large class is not going to work. You need to talk to the school director, CDL school director, or the recruiter and ask him clear questions. So, are we going to be trained how to couple and uncouple? He says yes. How many hours on the road, behind the wheel, on the road, will I get during my training time? Now, he might give you an estimate, or he says, I'm not sure, every class is a little bit different. But you want to know somewhere, what is it? Are you just going to tell me, oh, you're just going to get 2 or 3, 4 hours and then take an MVA test? That doesn't work. That's not right. So you want to know how many hours behind the wheel, at least the minimum, okay? The law says, the government laws, there is no minimum standard of behind the wheel training that has to be offered. Good schools will go above and beyond what is required from the government. If I fail my test, will I have to pay a fee for the next test? Every school should give you, a good school should give you at least one free retry, because a lot of students get nervous and they fail the first time. It should not cost you a dime to take the test in 48 hours again to retake the test. It should not cost you to do that. So if I fail the third time, how much is it going to cost me? It should be about $50, no more than $100. If it's $200 some dollars, you're going to the wrong school. That's gouging. No. Maybe because it's built in your tuition. It should be built in. So you failed 2 times, okay, $50, and maybe then go up to $100 or whatever. But they shouldn't gouge you, okay? And if you fail constantly, probably you would never got the proper training in the first place. Some students are not good at this, but most students, if they train properly, they're going to pass the test. They're going to pass. Okay. Get as much information from these director and recruiter as possible. And then after a day later, send them a text, a thank you note. And this is really important. So send them a text, thank you note. Hey, I appreciate that. Can I follow up on you? Did you say I'm going to get 8 hours minimum or more training time on the road? Did you say if I should fall behind on my training and I need extra help, that I will get that help before my test? Did you say that? Get in writing. So that way you're not at the school, but now you're sending him follow-up emails or texts, and he's going to hopefully send you a reply. Save those replies. Paste it, tape it, print it out, or save it on your phone. Do not lose that. So that's a contract. When you're going to go to a school, you're going to sign a contract, And they're going to tell you, this is the contract that we can share your information. We can do this and this and this. Guess what? That's a contract. You have it in writing, and you're going to make them obey and abide by that contract. If you have it in writing and they didn't abide by it, then you got something to fall back on if you went to that particular school and they didn't live up to their agreement. And you also you make sure you got to live up to your agreement too by coming to class every day and showing up ready to drive. Now, if they didn't give you what they offer, you've got to fight. You can fight, have a case. Why should you pay retest money when they didn't live up and offer you the training that they said they're going to give you? You also want to know what the cost is. Like I said, the state college, you might qualify for $1,000 and get it for free. Workforce training, and every state has a workforce. So that's mostly going to be involved with a community college or a state college where the government taxpayers will pay for your cost of the school. And if you don't have any money, do it that way. So just because if it's a low-cost school, very little payments, not that much, you only get what you pay for. But there again, like I've been talking about, some schools charge a ton of money and they're a poor school. It's just the way it is. They pack up the schools and they become just load up. It's all about the money, not too much about the students. Ask the CDL school rep, do you keep track of the progress of each student? Can you show me on your computer? Do you have I think 160 Training Academy has little laptops, and every student, the record is kept. So if you are sponsored by a trucking company, everyone has they have an option that they can look at that laptop. They can go on their computer, their files, and see how their particular student is doing. And every school should know about, if they have 20 students, they should know the progress of all 20 students. And they should be able to show it to you and say, this is how we track the progress of every student. And or have a board somewhere, and the board will show every student. There should be something that the rep or the CDL director can show you that they keep track. Because if you wanted to be students, who I was talking about, who never done this before, say, show me, are these students, if they're having issues, are you keeping track of them? How do you do it? I know on the road, they have a little road card that you put on there, number 1 for 4. But what about on the range? What about on this, your seat for their pre-trip test? So you should be able to see this student is below average on this. He needs a lot of help. Do you have a chart or anything that shows this, that you can go and reach out to that student and help the student? If a student falls behind, are you going to help this student get up to the rest of the students? Or are you going to, bring them up to their standards? You want to know all this stuff. Is this school a third-party testing site? That means the school itself, you'll be testing on the range that you are training on. This is a plus. That's a plus. Because let's say you go to school and they say, we're going to do it in about 3 weeks. We're going to test you and go around and you're going to test out early. We are quick. You come into our school and we get you out. But they're not a third-party testing site. That means they're going to go to the DMV or MVA to test you out. If you should fail that test, guess what? You might not get out that quick. It might take you weeks before you can get another date with that MVA or DMV to retest. Or they might take you to another site. So you failed the one site on a road test, and then they take you to another site, maybe it's about an hour away, and you fail there because you wasn't prepared for this very tough right-hand turn that you didn't expect. So third-party testing sites, that's a plus. That is a plus. How many sleeper tractors do they have? How many day cabs? And how many automatic tractors they have? The automatic tractors, I like you to get that no restriction on your license. But if you have a large class and you're not getting a road time, guess what? They're not going to deal with you. They're going to say, guess what? You can be almost forced into an automatic tractor. You paid a ton of money, for over $5,000 to go to a school, and because the class is oversized, you don't get the time in the tractor, and next thing you know, you are forced to do something you really didn't want to do. You're going to be forced the only way you're going to pass your test is probably go to automatic tractor. But to some students who want automatic, if you're working at Amazon, you know everything's automatic down there. If that's what you want, do they have enough automatic tractors for the number of students they have? Some schools have 2 or 3 ranges. They have 3 lanes of one, and another area they have another, and it's spread out. Maybe with the miles away, they have another range. Do they have enough automatic tractors to go around for the number of students they have? And you definitely want to make sure they have sleeper tractors and day cabs. When you take your test, it'd be nice to take the test in the day cab, but the way the new program's coming in is not going to be that big of a deal. And as I think I already mentioned, do they go above and beyond government's testing standards? Ask those questions. The quality of instructors. Ask the students that are at the range. If you visit the range, ask them about the quality of the instructors. If you can talk to instructors, that's a plus. Talk to some instructors. Get their view. Don't always least 3. Don't go and just talk to one person. As many as possible. Talk to them. And I'll end with this. Do your research. Remember, ask questions. Get it in writing. Keep all records of communications with the school staff and the reps that you talk to prior to signing on the dotted line. Coming soon, what to do if you're in a poorly run CDL school. That will be the video coming up next. I hope this video has somewhat helped, but do more research and not just what I just talked about. I'm talking about things that are online, and most people who are in my position, that's what we'll be talking about. So, until the next time, see you later.